possibly to Pavel's detriment.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's something that, you know, like, as you said, we both asked him about, and very interesting answer. He's just like, just play the stuff that works or has already worked for me.
Yeah.
So it's hard to argue with that until it doesn't work. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, it's going to have to change soon because Standard changed up a few of the decks just a little bit. And something I'm picking up on as well here is this Faceless Manipulator could be a pretty big deal because Malygos is a card.
Yep.
There's Hellfire and Coil already hand. He can play Faceless Manipulator, Hellfire the board, and Coil for ludicrous amounts of damage, which will just be insane, and I think more than makes up for not being able to combo with Leroy.
Yeah, I'm not quite so sure about the Hellfire because
we just Hellfire. It's loads of damage. Who doesn't want to see that?
Bear in mind that's 8 damage to Pavel's own face in that situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not sure how pretty that is in the long run, but otherwise, no great answer to this Malygos, because just the Faceless and the Coil, he would need the Giant attack to connect with the Malygos as well to take care of it, and there's the Twilight Guardian protecting the way.
Yeah, he could just Faceless and then Coil the Twilight Guardian and just go face. His opponent's only got 2 cards. If Pavel's tracking as he should be, one of those he knows is the coin. So what one card is completely going to blow him out here with his own Malygos on the board, right? You know, it requires a big deal to answer this, and we are going to see it. Mali versus Mali action.
Yeah, I love this. I imagine this Giant attack is going to go face in this spot. Oh, is he going to trade?
Oh, he's going to just double trade out.
He's going to trade with the Leroy. This is interesting. The Mali is a big deal, but the Holy Nova, even in that spot, only represents...
Oh, it was drawn.
7 damage.
Look at Pavel. Just looked over the phone, smiling. So great.
He knows.
Oh.
Pavel now knows what the far right card in Doc Pone's hand is 100%. We've been talking about the looks back and forwards and the reactions between these two players for this whole series. Is that the moment where Pavel finally got the best of it?
It might well be. As we were talking about the Holy Nova a few turns earlier, of course. Got drawn the turn, and it's not as if, oh, you know, Pavel leaves up the Malygos. Sure, just hit him for 8 and threaten your own kind of lethal possibilities to turn after. Pavel chose to trade and got quite heavily rewarded for it, as that would have been a lot of damage coming out from the Nova there. That would have just been ludicrous. Plus the hit from the Malygos.
Quickly.
Nausea Cleric going to come down here. Doc Pone just doesn't see an out. He's going to try and cycle. He's going to have to cycle off his opponent's minions if he wants to do that.
Not got much time to do that, though.
And this is always a sign of abject desperation for the Dragon Priest player when it's Cleric to cycle off the opposing minion. And again, the Dragons have just not lined up for Doc Pone this game. He does have a lot of cards like this that do need it. And finally, Pavel hits one of the massive power cards. The Kazakus and Reno power trio picks up the Kazakus at last after just having to scrap pretty much with subpar cards. He's played this game for this long with no benefit of putting singletons in his deck throughout because he hasn't used the Kazakus or Reno yet.
I do like the Draxes this turn, though.
Sure, this is fine.
You know, after that draw, you know one card is the coin still. You know your opponent pretty much has nothing in hand that's going to threaten Drax's kind of
There's
health.
no pretty much about it. You know this hand is coin Holy Nova. We know that based on the reactions. Pavel knows the contents of this hand 100%.
So you get Draxus down, next turn you drop the Kazakus and start stacking up armor and more value, and that will probably spell doom for Doc Pone in this game. I do not know what he could even draw into that would help him get out of this situation. The only card I can even think of at this point would be along the lines of a Deathwing, and that could be answered by Kazakus anyway, turning it into a little sheep.
Yeah, not happening. No Deathwing in the deck. Both Nether Spites used as well, I believe. So not even an out of that kind. Twilight Whelp now being picked up. He just had to play on the previous turn his second Blackwing Technician without activating the stat buff. Now he draws the smallest dragon, the dragon that you often hold on to be an activator. This is what I'm saying when I say that the dragon activations have just not lined up whatsoever for Doc Pone this game.
No, he's gone full Season 2 Khaleesi. Where are my dragons?
Gran Kazakus time. Kazakus damage effects amplified by Malygos is something
go
that
for the
I
one
confess I have never ever seen before. That is 7 damage AoE for
God.
1 mana right now. Is he going to go again?
I mean, why not?
Try and pick up more damage?
Pretty much a 10 mana at this point.
Yeah, okay.
You have bested me. Oh,
Good
look.
call.
And Dotpon just looks over at Pavel, gives him a smile and a nod. He's like, okay, that was a ridiculous game of Hearthstone. And Pavel did come out on top. Now going to match point, he's 3-2 up versus Dotpon off the back of some faceless